This is it. This is the end. And the Son of Man will judge all peoples, and he will separate them by sorting them into groups of those who followed the law and those who didn't. So in the end, it is black or white. You either did right and you will be rewarded, or you did wrong and you will be punished. And all the talk about love and forgiveness and suffering for the sin of the world seems just not true anymore. Because as we just heard in the gospel, there will be harsh judgment. And woe if you are on the wrong side. This is it. This is the end, the reign of God. So this is it. This is the end. That's what the disciples think as they sit around Jesus on the Mount of Olives, talking to him privately and trying to understand the signs of Jesus coming again and the end of the age. He tells them parable after parable, hard to understand, hard to follow, hard to implement. And their emotions are focused on the dreadful news that he is giving them on the end of his life, that he will die through the hands of the authorities. And then, what then? Well, yes, Jesus says he'll return, but that's probably just to comfort them. What will become of their movement? What will become of their future, their dreams, their hopes? How can they return home to their villages and continue to live their uneventful lives? Lives of submission and oppression, barely making ends meet, after seeing glimpses of a brighter future, of shared burdens, of hungry people who got fed, of community. And now they will just have to go back as if nothing has happened, picking up where they left as if they weren't changed. But they are changed. They have changed. But apparently, this is it. There is no way forward. Nothing will change. This is the end. This is it. This is the end. That's what all of them thought. This is the end. Until Jesus meets all of them. The sick and diseased, pained and paralyzed, and he cures them. The outcast, and he restores them. The frightened, and he comforts them. The obsessed, and he refocuses them. The dead, and he brings them back to life. The women suffering unseen, and he acknowledges them. The hungry, and he provides plenty to feed them all. The young and the old ones, and he welcomes them. The socially unacceptable, and he includes them. The hopeless, and he shows them a future. And suddenly, it's not the end. There is a new perspective. It is the reign of God breaking into their world. It is this, and not the end. This is it. This is the end. The end of the Gospel of Matthew, the end of the lectionary year A, the end of our church year. And this is what we hear from Jesus. In the end, you're sheep or goat. Blessed are you if you are a sheep, because you will be part of the reign of God. But woe to you if you are a goat, because you will be punished eternally. So, in the end, Jesus is cruel and unbending, a judge who doesn't show compassion, who preaches compassion and extends compassion, but just not to the goats. So in the end, Jesus is a hypocrite. The church is only a collection of self-acclaimed saints. So much for forgiveness and unending love. In the end, the reign of the Son of Man is just the reign of man, cruel, and nothing changes. this is it. Is it? Don't we focus too much on words like reign and judgment and king, and the typical image of human rule raises before our inner eyes? Don't we focus too much on words in general? What about what Jesus is talking about here? Excuse the irony. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you gave me clothing. I was sick, and you took care of me. I was in prison, and you visited me. What about the doing? Don't we see suffering and needs around us every day? How do we respond? Ignore the hungry, thirsty, strange and stranger, naked, sick, and helpless? Or not? Jesus in his lifetime chose to see them, help them, heal them, talk to them, be compassionate, listen to them. And here's our choice too. We can give hope to the hopeless, and a new beginning to those who think, this is it, this is the end, nothing can ever change. We can talk about it and preach it to others, but in the end, what makes the change is the doing. Jesus, after he stops talking and teaching to his disciples, still does. He suffers torture and humiliation and punishment for a crime he didn't commit. So I don't think that this is the end. This is, in a lot of ways, just the beginning. The breaking in of a new world into our human-made. The reconfiguration of values. And the acceptance of our responsibility in this change. Because as baptized, we are citizens of the reign of God. And if Christ is king in our lives, then we should follow the law, the one law, to love. To love in all the nuances there are, by compassion, by listening, by acknowledging, by seeing, by supporting, by freeing, by healing, by restricting ourselves, by hoping, by praying. Because this is not the end. Amen.